Every January, we do the same thing. New year, new promises, new pressure. And by the time January's barely over, most of those promises are already dead. Not because we're lazy people, but because most New Year's resolutions are set up to fail from the start. In this week's episode, I'm talking about why that happens, why some resolutions are actually detrimental, and how to think about goals in a way that doesn't leave you frustrated, disappointed, or convinced that you're the problem. Welcome to Untamed and Unfiltered Wellness, the podcast where we're tearing up the rulebook of conventional wellness because one size fits all never fits anyone. I'm your host, Jo Swenson, integrative health coach, herbalist, and the CEO and founder of Olivia Bell Wellness. Research shows that about 9 to 12% of people actually stick to their New Year's resolutions for the long term. Most people give up by late January. That doesn't make us bad people. It's just, you got to think about the realities. January is a dark and cold month. Our energy is low and, well, our nervous systems have been taxed from the holidays. So when we ask ourselves to completely reinvent our lives overnight, we're not likely to succeed. Most resolutions are also reactive. They come from a place of guilt, compromise, or panic. You might say, I should fix this. I need to be better at this. Or, I've let myself go. I need to make a change. That mindset doesn't create change. It actually creates resistance. Most resolutions focus on outcomes, not actual systems. Let's talk about one of the most common examples, weight loss. Weight loss tied to an event, a wedding, a reunion, vacation, or even a milestone birthday. Here's the question that you should be asking yourself, and it's uncomfortable on purpose. Who is this goal actually for? If the motivation disappears the second the event is over, the goal was never aligned. That doesn't mean that choosing weight loss is bad. It just means that your motivation was wrong. When goals are driven by external approval, looking better in photos, getting better comments or likes on social media, or even validation from other people, they rarely last. Research consistently shows us that extrinsic motivation leads to short-term compliance, not sustainable change. And then we blame ourselves when we gain the weight back. There's nothing wrong with us. Our goal was just never built to support us. If we look at time management, most people don't have a time problem. They have a priority avoidance problem. If something matters to you, it shows up on your calendar. If it doesn't, it lives in the land of, I'll try. But this is where honesty needs to come in. Not every goal deserves space in your life right now. Enforcing it just creates stress, resentment, and decision fatigue. Real time management isn't about squeezing more in. It's about choosing fewer things and backing them up with structure. We've all heard of SMART goals: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. They may work great for projects, but they were not designed for people. From a professional perspective, I don't subscribe to SMART goals at all. SMART goals ignore emotional readiness, they ignore nervous system capacity, and they assume that progress is linear. But life is not a spreadsheet. If a goal requires you to override your body, ignore your stress levels, or white knuckle your way through it, it's not a good goal. It's a punishment plan. So I'd like to offer a reframe as we enter into the new year. Instead of asking yourself, what do I want to achieve? Reframe that question. Ask yourself, what kind of person am I becoming? And does this goal belong in that life? Research on behavior change shows us that identity-based goals stick far better than outcome-based ones. So instead of saying, I want to lose 20 pounds, change that to, I'm someone who takes care of my body in a way that supports my energy, my sleep, and my stress. Because that shift will change everything for you. And yes, this does require selfishness, but not the ugly kind, the self-respectful kind. You are allowed to build goals around how you want to feel, function, and live, not how you want to be perceived. As the new year unfolds, I want you to sit with this. If a goal makes you feel smaller, more stressed, or constantly behind, it's not growth. If a resolution requires you to hate yourself into compliance, it's not self-improvement. And if you're forcing a goal simply because it's January, you're allowed to opt out. This year doesn't need a new you. It needs a more supported you. If this podcast resonated with you, please share it with a friend, especially somebody who's hell-bent on setting a New Year's resolution. And if you liked this episode and this podcast, please like, share, and subscribe. I hope you find some time for some peace, some plants, and some paws. Thank you so much for listening to Untamed and Unfiltered Wellness. This podcast is your go-to for breaking the stress-sleep cycle and reclaiming your energy. But what if you want to dig deeper into the science, the herbs, and more no BS solutions that I can't always cover here? You can find that on my Substack, Olivia Bell Wellness. It's free, it's practical. The link's in the show notes.